All right, we're live this morning. I wanted to talk a little bit today in regards to theory. There's so much we can learn in music; it's endless. So I woke up today thinking I just started talking more about, chords and how they all relate with each other and why they work and that sort of how everything kind of sounds good together. I mean, we can go in and out of keys and out of chords. There's so many things we can do to be creative. So I'm going to start today with the key of C, and I made a little chart here. We're starting with our sharp keys, and basically it looks like this. So I'm hoping that you can see that. I'm using a Sharpie now, so maybe it's a little bit more clearer. I'm going to pull it up a bit so you can stop the video at any time, take a screenshot, and then make your own notes. So in any major key, when we're talking about theory, we start with the C, key of C major, because there's no sharps or flats in the key of C. So it's the one that we work with, and then all the other keys fall under that. So it kind of gives us our starting point. And we're going to talk about all the keys and all the chords in every key and kind of how you can use them and be creative with them. So the first chord in any major key, in this case, we're starting with C. The first chord would be C major. Second chord would be D minor. Now, all this stuff applies for writing to help you be creative with your writing. The third chord would be E minor. The letter that comes after D would be E. Then we have an F major. And you can take a snapshot of the chart so you remember this. A G major, an A minor, a B half diminished, and then we wind up back to C. So hopefully you know those chords. If you don't, you can look them up. I do have lots of them on my YouTube channel as well. Now, what is that good for? Well, if we thought about things like a good song that I just worked on for a couple students was Count on Me. So we can see that in Count on Me, you get this C. So basically going from C to an E minor, then to an A minor, then G, then F. So what is this lesson good for? Well, it teaches you that every song uses this theory, and people that know this stuff, it actually all works, and all these chords sound good together. So if we looked at the chart, we could see here, he started with a C, so that'd be the one chord in the key of C, first chord in other words. Then he went to E minor, which is a third chord. Then he went up to A minor to G, and then ended on the F, and then restarted again. So you can see how the theory kind of works, where that all those chords sound good together, and we would call it like a 1-3. I'd probably go 1-3-6-5-4 progression. So we could take any of these chords in the key of C and actually use them. So one thing I always want you to remember in any key is that wherever there's no M, that's a major chord. So you can see right away, we're looking at the Roman numerals here. This is 1, 4, 5. So you should log into memory, try to remember this stuff, that a 1, 4, 5 in any major key, of course, we're starting with the key of C, and then every lesson we're going to go down every key, is a major. And a 2, 3, and 6 in any major key is a minor. Always, that's the rule. And a 7 is a half diminished. So half diminished meaning that the chord is the sound, we flat the third and we flat the fifth, basically, is what's happening. So yeah, that's basically the idea, and we could talk more about that too in theory. There's lots to talk about in theory. So if we know that we have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B half diminished, and C, I guess in theory I should be able to just play something and it should sound good. So I'm going to try it and see what I can come up with. Maybe I'm going to use a little bit different of a combination than what Count on Me was. So I'm going to try it more like, I'll go to a C. Start on my C, I'm going to pick some random chords. 2, go to D minor, maybe a G, an F, back to C, maybe back to A minor. I'm going to try this diminished. All right, so that was one combination, and it kind of sounded happy and uplifting because I was using major chords, right? So that's kind of a country feel. If maybe I want to make it feel a little bit more like not so happy, but have a more of a Pink Floyd or Tom Petty or something using minors. I don't know, just trying to be creative with a bunch of chords. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's like writing a story. You write a whole bunch of lines down, you read them back, you go, oh, that wasn't any good. You crumple up the paper, you throw it in the trash. Well, that's what we do with music. We try to mix up all these chords, and a lot of times when I'm writing, it just happens for me. Like I was sitting at home there and I was writing something like this. I was, got to remember them too. And I was actually using my theory, and I went, okay, that's cool. That's a C, and I'm adding this A note and the B note below, and then the octave C. So I was coming up with that, and then I went all the way up here to this F, and I turned that into the same idea. And then I noticed that this was really cool, because if I took this finger back to here, then this would be E. So then I started incorporating the E7, which is the relative minor, comes from A minor. But for this week, you guys should try to go through all your chords in the key of C. C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B half diminished, and C. If you don't know what a half diminished is, I can explain it to you. It's basically string 4 on fret 3, string 2 on fret 3, string 3 on fret 5, and the bottom string on fret 5, using fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this can be moved, believe it or not. If I call this fret 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start it from here. I'm going to say we're going to go up from where these fingers are. So this will be counted as fret 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I take fingers 1 and 2 to the 6th fret, believe it or not, those are the same notes. And if I slide that up another 4, same notes, slide that up another 4. Pretty interesting stuff to know about. So anyways, I winded up finishing this key of C part by using all this theory. I'm not really convinced on my idea yet, still working it, but it was like, and I'm trying to incorporate this so slow. I was thinking, okay, if I did this, yeah, and I had this idea. I was almost it. So see, I'm trying to put in other things like borrowed chords and stuff. So I thought this would have been a great ending. And then back, and then starting again. So just trying to come up with my own ideas, using all the theory that I have. So yeah, that's got to be done the right way so it even works out with your fingers. So right now this is C, and I'm going to F. Now here I'm going to F minor. It's a borrowed chord. And then bringing it to resolving back to C. So something so cool like that you build on and you try to make something with it. So these are just ideas, and then I jam around with them and try to come up with some cool thoughts for it. So it's like, and I'm using the chords in the key of C here. The only thing that I did was I changed the 4 chord to a minor chord. It's a cool trick. It resolves back to the 1 chord. When I say resolve, it's like when you read a story, there's a period, the end of sentences, and that if there wasn't any periods or commas, you'd run out of breath. So in music, we have to let people know that like we're ending a phrase and starting a phrase. Like in blues, we'd be like, right? So it just sounds like it keeps going. Doesn't sound like it's really ended yet. But if I go to the 5 chord here and do a turnaround, that we call it, and I end it. So that sounds like it's been resolved when we come from the 5 to the 1. Much like in the key of C, if we're thinking about ending the phrase, I mean, it works well too, coming from F to C, and there's all kinds of ways of resolving, but that's a one good first time lesson to always learn that 5 to 1s are good resolving chords. As opposed to C to G. I don't really feel like a lot of tension, but if I go from G and resolve back to C because I'm in the key of C, sounds pretty good. Or if I go from like a D7 to G, which is 5 of G. But if I went from G to D7, it doesn't sound like it can resolve, right? But if I go back to G, so those are all the little cool things that you learn. Not little, they're actually really big things to try to remember and think about when we're writing and stuff. So I like to try to get a little bit of these ideas out there in regards to theory. So I thought I would talk lots about theory. And so for this week, guys, and everybody, guys, girls, ladies, gents, teenagers, kids, go through all your chords in the key of C. So here's C major, here's D minor, then we got E minor, basically fingers 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, however you want to do it. And that, then we got an F. F's I find are tough. You can check out on my YouTube channel how to get through an F chord. It takes a little bit of time doing exercises every day for about a week, and then before you know it, you get an F chord. So that'd be F. If F is tough for you to bar these two, you could just press on string 2 and try to mute out string 1 so we don't get this F major 7 sound. Actually, we could even use the F major 7 sound, so we could turn it into a 7. So you could hear the bottom one because we are in the key of C. So we could just leave the bottom string open as well. Then we go to a G. Then we got A minor. So hopefully everybody knows a G chord. I play it like that. I can play it like that. There's many ways to play a G chord. I can play it like that. Everybody says to me, how come you can play a G chord like that or like that? And what's with this extra note? Well, we'll talk about that with chord construction on the next theory classes and notes that are in chords and why and how they work. I love doing these sort of lessons. It's so much more easier with time. So I hope you got something out of that. Go through your chords in the key of C. Maybe take a chart out and randomly write like 1 for a bar and then 3. We'll talk about that next week using this chart and maybe writing our own song. Or one day through the week. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great week and things are getting better out there for all of us. I'm hoping so anyways. And stay safe, stay healthy, do your part, and hopefully we can get through this quickly. Yeah, so we'll see you next time. And if you have any questions, by all means, send me some comments. Some friendly ones. We like friendly things today. We don't need to be badgering each other or whatever. I don't feel like I'm the world's greatest guitar player, so I'm just here trying to give out information to others and help people embrace music a bit while they're at home, and it's something, for the rest of your life. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye for now.